Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Chris Wilson from St. Andrew Christian Church, and here to talk about my sermon this coming week and the sermon series that it's a part of. For the season of Lent, I've chosen the theme of Lent with Lasso. Yes, Ted Lasso from Apple TV. And the series is called Lent with Lasso, Uncovering Gifts for Life. I felt like that particular series, there had a lot of underlying themes that applied to our faith and applied to how we live out our life in a meaningful way. And the first week I uncovered the gift of belief. And last week we talked about uncovering the gift of expanded leadership. And this third week of Lent is the theme of the gift of self-care. One of the things that we find in the Ted Lasso series throughout the 3 seasons is how the characters care for themselves. And in particular, the role of therapy and counseling and taking away the stigma of that being a negative thing and actually a positive thing for individuals and groups of people altogether. In addition to the formalized form of self-care, many of the characters take on different dimensions of self-care, ways they can express themselves to rejuvenate themselves, to help care for themselves, to be their best self for themselves and for others. The scripture passage that will kind of be the baseline or the underbelly of all this is from Matthew chapter 4. It is the beginning, the formal beginning before Jesus starts his ministry. It's the story of the temptation experience where Jesus is in the wilderness for 40 days and he has 3 temptations from the evil one. And he's given these temptations of things that seem very appealing. And in each case, Jesus refutes the temptation. He puts it off. And part of that was his desire to go into the wilderness and discern for himself how he wanted to shape his ministry. And that discernment period was really helpful in not being enticed by things that would take you off track or take you down a different path that would not be helpful or healthy. And so that underlying piece of Jesus exploring his own sense of identity models to us self-care before he ever goes out and heals and teaches and does any of those things. He discerns a sense of self-care for himself, knowing he will have to adjust along the way. But he begins with a discipline of self-care before he ever does anything for someone else. So Ted Lasso and Jesus will both give us a way of reflecting on self-care for ourselves, for how we do that in the church and wider community, and how we model that in meaningful ways to others. So I hope you'll join us on Sunday as we continue down this path of Lent with Lasso. Come join us at St. Andrew. Invite a friend. Come see what all the fun is about during the season of Lent, this reflective season, as we reflect and share worship life together.